Once again, you already know what it is, and you already know where you have reached. It is almost Sunday, but right now it is still technically Saturday on the East Coast, July 6, 2024. We have just completed the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and we are live here on Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. A surprise edition, I guess you could say, of Clash of the Podcast, because my tag team partner, Conrad, is in the building. Did not expect that. Appreciate you being here. The final boss, Crystal, is back in the building for the first time in quite some time. And the Pro Wrestling Shoots, Jesse is in the building, along with the big homie James in the building. This is an all-star panel tonight as we talk to you guys about Money in the Bank that just took place. Conrad, how you doing, man?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm here.
Jess.
Happy to be here.
Amen. Jess, what's the word?
Better than I deserve, man. Better than I deserve. It was a good long week off of work, so now I'm ready to go back here in 2 days. 112-degree weather. So,
amen to that. It's kind of hot. That's kind of hot.
Yep.
James, how you doing, my brother?
Hey, doing good. Honored to be here. Blessed to be, to wake up this morning and watch Money in the Bank and discuss this event with you guys.
It's truly, I'm the one who's honored. You guys have a tremendous following. For you guys to take the time, it really means a lot. And of course, the final boss. We call her the final boss because she is a tough cookie. I'm going to do my whole thing again because it's been quite some time. She's the class in a world. When I used to do party promotion, she was the door person. She's the class amongst all the class minus the C and the L. She was the classy one in the bunch. Knew me before I knew the Lord and before I knew how to be a gentleman. I was starting and bopping back in those days, but she was always a stoic, nice young lady and a wrestling fan and my friend. Crystal, welcome back.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be back.
Absolutely. So let's get into it, man. Money in the Bank is now in the books. The summer of 2024 is in full swing in the World Wrestling Entertainment universe, or whatever you want to call it. We saw I guess you could say a 5.5 match or 6 match pay-per-view. It depends on how you look at it, because of the cash in tonight. But let's kind of work backwards here. Jess, what would you grade this pay-per-view? I know that's usually something we save for the end, but how would you grade this pay-per-view?
Well, I don't know. I don't really grade it A, B, 1 through 10. I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up, man. I enjoyed watching it. Okay. And that's really all that matters to me at the end of the day is, if it's fun and enjoyable. So I'm giving it 2 thumbs up, man. I thought it was a good show. I thought it was entertaining. Thought they, one of my predictions came true. So I was really happy with that. So, yeah, good show.
Fair enough. Final boss, Crystal, what do you grade this show?
I would probably give it a good B. I was really happy with the show. I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. I think that aside from what we were saying off camera, that it started really early, I thought it was a great show.
Okay, fair enough. James, what were you thinking, man? Did you think they came through with the heat tonight?
I'll second that. I thought it was a B show, not spectacular, stuff we said off air, of course, we'll discuss here. But just a lot of storylines were progressing, and, that's what I'm up for. 5 matches, I thought it was a perfect lineup for me.
All right, fair enough. Brother Conrad, how'd you feel about tonight?
It was cool.
I think that's where I'm at. It was all right, man. Let's get into some of these comments, man. Then we're gonna jump head first into this thing. Clown, always very supportive. He says, "Good evening, everyone." The only Vinny we like. He says, Cody versus Solo SummerSlam. Yawn. Roman cannot come back soon enough. My goodness, I couldn't agree more, Vinny. What does it say about Cody being the fit? Oh, Jesse. Woo-hoo! Vinny says, what does it say about Cody being the face of the company when the fans will be chanting for the guy? We want Roman.
Hey, hold on a second.
Are
we not watching the show? Seriously, I feel like some fans are just so damn blind when they're watching this show. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they're chanting, "We want Roman" at Solo Sikoa. Did you not hear the crowd cheer for Cody and sing his whole song coming down? Man, Cody got the pop, dude. They ain't hating on Cody. Only blind ass fans are hating on Cody right now.
All right, take it easy, killer. We know you love you some Cody. We know.
Just saying,
we know,
man.
We know.
Look, I'm just tired of the blind fandom, and we're gonna hear all about that tonight, dude.
Let's get into it, man.
I'm so tired of it.
Please, let's talk about blind fandom.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Obviously,
boy.
I'm here to give everybody a shout out. Jesse's getting everybody a shout out. Conrad's giving everybody a shout out. XGW in the building, so supportive. XGW, we appreciate you being here. Sooner Fan 109. This is the first time I've seen you here on this channel. That makes sense. One of Jesse and James Watt viewers. Thank you for being here, Sooner Fan. We appreciate you. Appreciate you guys very much. SGW says, good crew. I couldn't agree more. Sir Quilly in the building. He says, your boy Sir Quills is here to enjoy this edition of Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. Hubs, Conrad, Jesse, James, and Crystal. What's going on? LeGoat's in the building. We appreciate you being here. Vinny, once again, giving blessings. We appreciate you. God bless you, too. Guy Will Gamble in the building. He says, what's good? My good people. I think God people would be nice, too. But I'm think he meant to say good people. But I'll roll with either one. I'm conflicted on the show. I think I am, too. I didn't like the early parts, but it picked up steam really well. LeGoat gives it a B. XGW gives it an 8.5. Let's get into this thing now. Look, the bottom line is this. Money in the Bank is in the books. I really didn't understand the breakdown of the matches, the order of the matches, but that's just a me thing. I kind of thought the World Heavyweight Championship, considering how it ended especially, should have been the main event, but that's minute. That doesn't really make a big of a difference. We opened up the show with the Money in the Bank ladder match. We all know who was in the match. Drew McIntyre, Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, Chad Gable, LA Knight, and Jey Uso. We all look. I'm gonna throw it to the person in this group who I think has the most sense. I can't go to Jesse because Jesse's gonna roll against me automatically. I can't even go to Conrad as much as that's my brother because he's always trying to pull me down. I'm certainly not starting this thing out with Crystal. James, give us your synopsis.
You're
the
tossing
men's
it
Money
to
in
the
the
bum?
Bank.
It's not me.
Bum of the show.
It's yeah, okay. Yeah, keep it in your corn the long way, buddy.
They always going at each other. I love it.
Keep peeling
James,
them damn
the
potatoes.
money in the Bank ladder match for the men started off the pay-per-view. In my mind, I thought it was either going to be the women that were going to main event or the World Heavyweight title. Whatever. Like I said, that's neither here nor there. But your synopsis of the men's Money in the Bank match.
You know, I'm surprised there wasn't as many spots in this compared to the women. Chelsea Green, by the way, did a fantastic job with her spots.
Yes, she did.
You know, it was kind of, you know, all the sports books or a few of them were putting Jay as like the favorite. You know, everyone was behind it. And it was a couple of, you know, people that were, I guess you would say, categorized to win. It was either maybe LA Knight or Chad Gable. You know, you also had, you know, Drew McIntyre, and everyone thinking was maybe they're just shenanigans. AJ Lee's going to come down. Or I was hoping my scenario, you know, of the King of the Ring 99 situation like they did with Austin, which was horrible, by the way, with no explanation. Mm-hmm. And, you know, ultimately we got Drew winning it. And for some odd reason, and I'm assuming other people caught this, I did, they did the same exact spot with LA Knight the previous year, which I find odd. They replicated the same way. You know, they just keep, you know, they keep teasing it with Jay of when, you know, try to get a chance for the title shot again. And here we go with Drew. And, you know, we heard it all through the night. You know, was this a good cash-in? Was this a bad cash-in later on throughout the show? You know, I've been saying this. I've told Jesse this. I've told others this. You're going to be in the long run with this situation with Jay. You're going to go through the Cody Rhodes treatment with this. 2 years, maybe longer, depending how long this bloodline situation goes. That's what I highly believe.
I hear you, bro. I mean, Crystal, just give it to me. Like, I mean, you saw the match. You know where you're at with it. First of all, talk about the historical significance of Drew winning the match specifically. James' synopsis was really good. But give us your opinion on just the first part about Drew winning the match. And then from there, how you felt the match played out, what have you.
I can't give you no historical significance about Drew. Let's go back to Jay.
Okay.
Please.
We're gonna go right into this. All right.
Yeah, we are. We're gonna go right into this. Okay, Jesse. Yeah, I'll mute your mic if you're muted because let me explain something to you. I want everyone on this stream to know how, as my old Beijing grandma said, how bad you got on earlier about this Jay situation.
Oh, I'm pissed. I'm not trying to hide it.
No, you just said just now, a couple of minutes ago, you weren't mad about it.
I'm not mad about it because I predicted it. That doesn't mean I'm not. Let me rephrase. You know what? Maybe I'm using the wrong words. I'm mad about it, but I'm not going to lose my mind about it because I knew WWE wouldn't do the right thing.
They are doing the right thing.
They did the right thing.
I firmly believe that they're in this for the long haul. Whether you want instant gratification.
Instant gratification. It's been a year.
Instant gratification. You heard what I said.
Instant gratification.
I didn't stumble. I didn't mumble. Instant gratification.
Come on, sis.
That's just
factually incorrect.
Did you ask me a question? I asked you a question.
Sis, don't do that. You're being factually incorrect. Saying instant gratification does not apply. Go ahead, Crystal.
They're in it now for the long haul of this. Okay, you have to go from the bottom up. It's only really been about 6 or 7 months. He'll be all right. He could stay where he at for a second. It's good. It's the buildup. I do not think he's gonna be like LA Knight and die down. I don't think that. Honestly, and truly, I don't. I think what happened tonight was supposed to happen. Even though I did believe he was gonna, I believe he was gonna be the winner tonight. That shocked the hell out of me. But I love the way it went. I really do. I feel like Jay has bigger fish to fry. The title is small, and if he gets the title, it's not going to be for long. It's not.
Well, we all agree with that. The championship reign, if he ever gets one, will be limited. But I just want it to be on his resume because he deserves it.
And it will be on his resume. It just won't be right now.
I mean, they would take care of him in AEW, but you know that, James. But at the same time, I don't want him to cop out like that. I want him to get what he deserves on the A show.
Of course, they would take care of him in AEW. That's on everybody's contract. Automatic championship match coming from WWE.
Look, I'm gonna throw it to Jesse in 1 second. Why do we have so much faith in the WWE product and them doing the right thing?
Do you not see what they're doing right now? Sorry.
No, I don't see what they're doing right now, Crystal, because like I just said to you before, you're saying that I need to be patient. The fans are clamoring for this guy. And like I think Conrad will say, even though Conrad's always trying to talk me off the ledge, you keep messing with this guy and the steam is going to run out. Who knows what could happen? He could get hurt. All of a sudden, the fans are not yeeting the way they were yeeting before. Why is it that and I'm going to let you hold off on this a little bit, Crystal, because I'm going to throw it to Jesse right now. But the question, I guess, for the room, and I'll let Jesse answer first. You want to just continue playing around with this dude and risk losing the steam? It's like we're doing nothing with this guy when he's the hottest thing on the Raw brand outside of Cody Rhodes. Well, Cody Rhodes on SmackDown. So the hottest thing on the Raw brand. Jesse, talk to me.
Look, man, I'm the wrong guy to talk to about title matches. I feel like people want to rush things all the time. It's okay for everything else to be long-term storytelling until we get into the WWE realm of things. This is what I'm talking about. Blind fandom, man. This is actual long-term storytelling when it comes down to Jey Uso and what he's doing in the WWE. He doesn't need the title, Hub. He doesn't. Like, everybody wants to watch the chase, period. All right? Cody Rhodes is going to die down soon. I love Cody. I have no problem admitting that. He's going to die down soon. They're going to want somebody to take that title from him. Probably The Rock. I don't know. We're going to see where that story goes. But for Jey Uso to get the title right now, it's going to kill him off faster than for him waiting to get to the title. I'm telling you right now, they're not going to be yeeting as much as soon as he wins that title because they're going to be wanting something else. Now, right now, when it comes to the Money in the Bank, they told the main story that everybody's clamoring about. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre.
Which they could have told without Drew winning the match. Go ahead.
Not really, because Drew McIntyre got screwed over for the cash-in at WrestleMania, right? He answered the same calling when he wanted to screw over Damian Priest. The problem is this now had Seth Rollins on the line as well. So not only are they telling the CM Punk, Drew McIntyre story, they're telling you 4 different stories within this thing. Damian Priest can't win a match without the help of somebody else. You got Seth Rollins now getting screwed over. He can no longer challenge for the title while Damian Priest is champion. You got Drew McIntyre getting screwed over by CM Punk again. And we're also calling back to Seth Rollins and CM Punk. You've just told 4 stories and have this long build going into WrestleMania. And WrestleMania is quite a ways away. So now we have all this to build towards for quite some time. So how did they not do the right thing here? That's what I'm trying to ask. Like, if they put it on Jey Uso, what story are we telling? Where do you go here? Where do you go from here with Jey Uso? There's no title that needs to be told with Jey Uso right now. His story is the bloodline. When Roman comes back, when he will come back, SummerSlam, I'm guaranteeing it. SummerSlam, he comes back. Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso returns. And then you're going to get probably Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's probably going to get in the mix as well. Bloodline versus Bloodline, Civil War. The Rock's going to come back. This is all going to build to War Games. This is telling a story and booking in advance. Like, I don't understand like how people think that they went wrong here. How did they go wrong when we're telling multiple stories?
I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to throw it to Conrad. Number one, everything you said, spot on, bro. Let me give credit where credit is due. The storyline and everything that was broken down obviously makes a lot of sense. But the problem that I have with what you're saying and what Crystal's saying is that Jay doesn't need a story when it comes to this particular situation. That's what everybody seems to not understand what I've been saying, except maybe Conrad, because I talk to him every day or every other day. Jey Uso just deserves to have a world championship on his resume.
And he'll get it.
Hold on. Jey Uso does not deserve to be 0-7 in singles championship matches. Jey Uso does not deserve to continue to lose main event after main event when he's main event Jey Uso. And how long, like I said before, how long are we going to continue to just, this is a risk, whether you guys want to agree with me or not. James chime in, Conrad chime in, whoever. This is a risk to continue to, okay, we're going to wait a little longer. Wait a little longer. Go ahead.
Was it a risk for Cody Rhodes?
It was a major risk. That was stupid.
2 years. Well, here's the answer. Here's the answer, bro. If you're over, you're over. You don't need to risk anything because you're over.
That's a tough one.
I'm just saying. If
sometimes you got to strike while the iron's hot. God rest his soul. God rest his soul. Kurt Hennig. God rest his soul. Scott Hall. God rest his soul. You got to strike while the iron's hot.
Okay, hold on a second.
Am I wrong?
Right. Listen, you're not wrong for the era that you're talking about, right? The era that you're talking about, you're absolutely correct.
Owen Hart. Go ahead, bro.
Era you're talking about, absolutely correct. Those eras sucked. I'm not even going to, like, right now, we're going to, say what you want, bro. They weren't exactly hot off the press like they are today. It's crazy to think about what they're doing today as a company. They're about to go to Netflix, bro. Stuff is about to pop off. It's going to be insane. First of all, you don't need the title for Jey Uso. You don't need to worry about him losing steam. This dude is the hottest thing on the WWE roster right now. I fully believe that. Over Cody. I would even say that. Over Cody. And I wouldn't say that, 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
I appreciate your honesty.
But now it's blatant. Like the dude is just cool. And because he's just cool, I don't think you have anything to worry about when it comes to that. Right now, we are in look, I don't care what anybody says. You're looking at an era right now, and I get Conrad, Hub, don't like Triple H, don't like the booking, whatever the case is. This era of WWE is going to go down as the greatest booking in professional wrestling history. I believe that. 100%. 100%. Dude, nobody's doing stories like WWE. I don't give a shit what you're talking about on AEW.
You know I respect you, so continue.
Hey, I don't care what you guys are watching on AEW, what you're watching on GCW, TNA. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Nobody is doing it like the WWE. And I get it. You want to watch Forbidden Door? Wrestling-wise, way better pay-per-view than Money in the Bank.
Okay.
Story-wise, not so much at all.
That's fair.
So that's where I'm going with it. It's two different products, so we got to stop comparing the two. But as an AEW fan, you have to look at the WWE for what it is. It is entertainment, and nobody's doing that better than the WWE.
Conrad, Jeff's good points. Conrad, let's transition a little bit because you know I can talk about Jey Uso all day. Let's focus on Drew winning the match. How did you feel about that, and where do you think we go from here, especially considering the fact that he was unsuccessful in his cash-in?
Surprise, surprise, surprise. There's nothing to say about it. It was what I thought they would do. When I made my predictions for this show, my predictions go in the mind of what is Triple H going to do. I honestly, I went 5 for 5. So look, Triple H, I knew exactly what he wanted to do. There's a bigger story with Drew and Punk and telling future stories. That's why he went the route that he did with this. We'll explain in the other match, but Drew wins. Sarah, cool. It felt like some other people had their steam back in the match. LA Knight got a pretty nice loud reaction. Good for him. Because at first I was getting worried about him. And I see both your points. I'm actually in between you guys, but I see both sides of this. I don't fully agree with what Jesse says about like hottest time period and all that stuff. I think that WWE is becoming like the NFL. Like WrestleMania is the Super Bowl now. It's going to be, you can't afford it unless you're a mega wrestling fan and you've got the money saved up. Stone Cold Steve Austin and Hulk Hogan were selling out gyms, basketball arenas, and you couldn't get a ticket if you wanted to. And it was cheap. Like that, there's no denying that. The product was more popular back then. And I'm just talking in number wise. Now it's more of a premium thing. Like the fans who got it, they got bread, bro. The people who love wrestling, they got money. Tell me
a bigger storyline than what you've seen with the Bloodline so far. This thing has reached incredible levels. So when it comes down to storytelling, you're not going to give me a story besides Steve Austin and McMahon that was bigger than what they're doing now with
Rock Austin, DX Nation.
2 months. 2 months, bro. That's what it was. The Rock, Austin, go back and watch it. 2 months.
I always say Rock and Triple H was more of the feud than Rock Austin. And I don't mean better. I mean that continued longer than the stuff you got with Rock. Rock Austin was kind of the quick hit. Like you're about to get something that's fire. You want to see. It's like Hogan Warrior. You can't continuously do that. You got to do it one time strike. It's a big come pay for this, come see it. Triple H and Rock was constant. You could do that every night and it's going to work. The what was I saying now? You messed up my point here, Jesse.
Sorry, man.
I was you said something about the storylines. Mega Powers. Yeah. Mega Powers is one of WWE's top 5 storylines of all time. I don't care what anybody says. If you don't say that, I'm questioning you as a wrestling fan. That story was so well done. That I love that one. The Bloodline's going to be in the top 5 too, easily. You might say 1. I wouldn't argue with it. Look at how much stuff they've gotten out of this. So it's what it is. And let me go to Sean's side real quick too with the Jey Uso thing. I feel Sean and what he's saying because Jey Uso is hot. And how do you reward someone who gets over whether you expected it or not under Triple H's regime? Like, I don't know what happens in these situations and scenarios. I agree with Jesse. Not everybody needs the title, but at the same token, you have to reward this person. I think Shawn would have been satisfied if he got the Intercontinental title. He said, nah, let's not do that. There's only but so many times. Now you're stuck in the Bloodline vortex. It's over. I told Shawn, if it doesn't happen tonight, it's over, bro.
And that's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm afraid of.
Once he reunites with his brother, it's done. It's done. Why break up the Usos? Why would they have singles careers? That tag division needs them. They're breaking up people who just won the titles while they're holding the titles. It's over. They're going back to a tag team. Sorry, you missed your chance.
I mean, and I want to circle back to this a little later, and I'm going to throw it to James when we talk about the Intercontinental Championship. But that's what I'm afraid of, and we're going to talk about this James thing a little bit more before we go off the air. But the whole, he'll get his chance. I just don't believe that at this point. And there's so many things that are roadblocks in the way, especially the upcoming Bloodline storyline that are going to hinder him. And we don't know what's going to happen 2 years from now because who knows how long. I mean, Jimmy and Jay get back together, which under normal circumstances would be amazing. As it relates to Jay's championship aspirations, out the window. But speaking of championship aspirations, Braun Breaker has really been on a tear lately in WWE. And he's actually impressed me more than he impressed me when he was in NXT. I was not a big fan. Conrad was trying to bring me around. I did not like Braun Breaker, but this most recent incarnation of Braun Breaker on Monday Night Raw was impressive. And it was so impressive, James, that it actually had me predicted Braun Breaker was going to win the match. That did not happen. How do you feel about Sami successfully retaining tonight?
Yeah, like the Super Sammy type of deal. Like I get it. Jesse has mentioned it numerous times to me of, well, you got to make the Gunther win, believable that he actually did it, which I still think it was very fluke. Gunther was teasing the hell out of him. He got the win on him. I was thinking not a straight up pin. I thought he was just, maybe Braun goes berserk and gets a 5 count and gets disqualified, and he just destroys the hell out of him in Canada, and he just straight up beat him with Huluba kick, which threw me off. So what direction do you put Braun? Do you wreak havoc on him, on Raw? Does he get another rematch in some, with some rematch clause of some stipulation involved? Don't get me wrong. Sammy's a, fantastic participant. We were, I was on the rise. Like, what are you going to do with Chad Gable when he had lost to him, 2 times already? Now you do this with Braun, and I know it's very early for his career not to win the title. I just think you've been building this monster up for weeks, spearing the whole damn roster at this
whole
point.
roster.
And you have him lose straight up, which kind of is puzzling to me. I don't know how everyone else feels about it. And I get it. You want to make the win believable for Sammy. You want to make, not just a one and done thing, win that WrestleMania and lose it like a couple months later. So I'm wondering where they're going to go with this with Braun. Is it going to go wreak havoc on Adam Pearce? I don't know what direction they're going with this, especially with Sammy.
Great insight. Crystal, take it from here as we talk about Braun Breaker. Does this ruin his momentum that he's been building up on Raw for the last couple of months, a month and a half? Or do you feel like somehow he'll overcome this? Because this whole, I like the term that James used, super Sammy. He seems like he's kicking everybody's tail with this Kaluva kick and been able to overcome some things that probably we wouldn't have expected. It's obviously starting at WrestleMania when he ended the 600-plus day reign of Gunther. Now he's been able to overcome triple threat matches and, run-ins and the Alpha Academy. And now the Gorilla Monsoon, God rest his soul, immovable force or unstoppable force, Braun Breaker, he's able to overcome him too. How do you feel about it?
I feel like, I don't know what kind of training he got with the Alpha Academy that all of a sudden now he's a beast. That I don't understand. I feel like Sammy is one of those people who I feel like don't need the title. Like I said to you guys off air, I feel like they're building up the NXT people too quickly because I feel like it did ruin Braun's momentum. I really like him. I think that he's super interesting. I love what they're doing with him. I don't feel like this finish should have been what it was. I agree with James wholeheartedly. I feel like it should have been some type of disqualification match where, Sammy still won, but this is how Braun lost. I feel like him being fair and square makes me be like, so why are they so scared of you? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely
run the ropes. So for me, it disappointed me because I feel like sometimes you have to give people a streak and they don't do that anymore. Like they need to go back to the days of Goldberg where you had a streak and people were counting. That's what they should have done for Braun. So I'm not super happy with it. Like I'm just like, and I don't feel like he should have had the title match so soon. So I'm a little indifferent about it.
Fair enough. Jess, how do you feel about Sami Zayn successfully retaining the IC belt tonight?
I don't think that Sami Zayn should have won it at WrestleMania, but
thank you. Now we're on the same page. Let's go.
I've always said that. I said from the beginning that Gunther should have handed that title over.
You thought he should have relinquished the title?
He should have relinquished it the moment that he wins the World Heavyweight title.
Okay.
Leave that streak alive. And as far as Braun, like we've already just gotten over a Gunther streak, so I don't need like multiple streaks going on and too many Goldbergs running around my WWE. But what I did like about this is once Sami Zayn did win the title, Triple H booked it that way. You have to make Sami Zayn credible. You do. Like he's now your Intercontinental. You want that Intercontinental title to mean anything because it hasn't for years, right?
Facts.
So until Gunther got it, it meant something. Now you have Sami holding the title. If you do not make him credible, this title goes nowhere. We put the title on Braun and he just goes undefeated again. We're running Gunther back is what we're doing with Braun, right? Like, so we're running the same thing. I also agree, Crystal, that he shouldn't have been in this match. You shouldn't have had, Braun Breaker in an IC title match so soon because what he is doing is incredible and the dude is a beast. And I look forward to seeing what he's doing in the future. But as far as the finish goes, I'm I don't have a problem with it because I feel like you need to make Sami Zayn look credible at some point. He's already lost all of his world title defenses, right? So you put him back in the IC picture. He's back in the IC picture. Make him be a dominant IC champion. Right now, he's playing that underdog. You don't believe he can beat this guy, right? And he ends up beating him. That's 2 people so far. I don't know who they're going to throw at him next, but I'm assuming it's going to be another big guy like Bronson Reed or whoever else. And,
right.
He's going to overcome those odds as well. I think that's Sami Zayn's story right now. So you need to run with it.
I can dig it. I'm going to throw it to Conrad as we start our world championship conversation, but we want to get into some of these comments. Guy Will Gamble says, I'm still rocking with Solo. I think that was a great Bloodline performance. Guy Will Gamble also says Solo and Jacob especially killed it. Match did its thing. Sir Quills, Money in the Bank was a 7 out of 10 show. I'm like 7.58 as well. The only Vinny we like, he says Roman is literally gonna be 10 times the babyface Cody is without the title. I want to ask you a question about my guy Vinny is very critical of Cody Rhodes. I'm somewhat critical of him, but Vinny goes in on Cody Rhodes. Respond to that. Do you think that Cody Rhodes can stand up to what's going to come down the pipe when Roman returns?
I think Cody's babyface run is generational, and I don't think the fans are turning on him. The main fans, anyway. You're gonna have criticism, no matter what. It's coming for anybody. But let me ask Vinny this: where were you when Roman Reigns, the big dog, was around? Because I need to know.
Yeah, nobody liked the big dog except Tom.
Oh, okay. Well, then where were those fans? Where were those fans now? I know you, Conrad. All right, we get it. You're weird.
Conrad, you are kind of weird for liking the big dog, though.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
All I'm saying is, if Roman comes back and gets that babyface run, great. He's not sticking around for long, guys. This dude is out the door, just like John Cena's out the door.
Mm-hmm.
We got Cody Rhodes as the future, and that is what it's going to be. But Cody isn't going to stay champion the whole time. He might keep it for this year. I don't know, but he's not going to get a Roman Reigns title run by all means. And that's fine. If you have criticism against Cody Rhodes, all to you, man. That's what wrestling is, subjective. But at the end of the day, you're not in the popular vote. Just know that.
I hear that, bro. I hear that. XG Dub says, my dude, appreciate you, XG Dub. Guy Will Gamble says it was on way too early. I think this ties into what Crystal was talking about. It was on way too early, but landed about 8 o'clock for me toward the middle. And no doubt, I agree. M. Lazy Fashizi in the building. He says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, all. Guy Will Gamble says, I felt the same way about the world title unless watching the 6-man tag. M. Lazy offers his condolences to me for the Jey Uso loss. I appreciate that. Leanne says Jay was robbed. I could not agree more. James.
Yeah, she's in another room. I've heard it all.
I appreciate her.
I've heard it all. I've said my piece, and well, I got shut down for it.
I want to thank you for putting her on the phone and allowing, because if you don't mind me saying so, that young lady encouraged my spirit to kind of calm down. I was very upset, and she blessed my spirit with her commentary. So that made me very happy. I appreciate that. To know that I wasn't alone. Guy Will Gamble making fun of me, saying it's not me. That's messed up, man. Lagoat says Uso cooked. Lagoat said Uso cooked. I agree. Clown says rope still seem messed up. Never seen that in many ladder match. Bridges slide off. Oh, okay. Many ladders and actually breaking. Did you guys see that spot where there was an issue with the ropes?
No, I didn't. I didn't see that. I didn't catch it.
Conrad, you saw that?
Yeah, I think it was placement.
Okay.
Some of it, like I don't know if it's from inexperience of like dealing with it, but sometimes I'm like, you got to move the ladder in, guys. That ladder's smaller. It's not gonna work that way.
All right.
Yeah.
One of Jesse and James viewers, Gabe is in the building. We appreciate you crossing over, my guy. Thank you for being with us. Guy Will Gamble says, at least what happened with Drew happened kind of well. Okay, let's get into that. That's actually a perfect segue. Conrad, the World Heavyweight Championship was on the line. Damian Priest defending against Seth freaking Rollins. We talked about it on Clash of the Podcast. I know everybody was kind of gearing up for this. Drew said he was going to do what he was going to do. How you feel about how this thing played out?
Seth Rollins is the champion.
Now what now?
Seth Rollins is the champion. He didn't kick out. He didn't kick out at 3. I'm just saying. No,
that was a botch. I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on.
I don't know if he got knocked out or what happened. I was like,
I heard he was concussed.
Yeah, he might have been knocked.
Or there was some issue where Drew's music was supposed to hit. I've heard both scenarios.
Yeah, who knows?
And he looked visibly upset when the match was over.
I think everybody was. They made the right call in this in the end. I'll say that right now. Here's the thing, man. This is why Drew had to win this, because you could tell multiple stories with this, and they did. And I went on.
This is why Drew had to win what? Money in the Bank?
Money in the Bank. Okay. Because you could tell multiple stories. As soon as Drew was in, I'm like, game over. Jay ain't winning. Like, my mind was changed. Jay was my favorite going into it until Drew got in. And then once he was in, I was like, oh, the story's got to be Punk's going to come back. Punk gets his revenge on him, and we're going to get into that in a second. But the reason you couldn't do that was because you could tell a story with Punk and Seth at the same time with this. That's why I was like, oh, Priest has to win. Punk and Seth, did you notice how mad Seth got looking at him? You didn't just screw Drew. You screwed me, too. That's your WrestleMania story. That's where you're going with this. It's well done. It's well played. This is a blood feud at this point. I'm sure Bad Blood's going to be Hell in a Cell, Drew and Punk main event, like in Atlanta. That's what's going down. Yeah, this is the move. This is the wave. I think they made the right call on this.
Crystal, do you feel like they made the right call as it relates to, we know how you feel about the Money in the Bank. I'm talking about the World Heavyweight Championship specifically. All the moving parts. We had Seth versus Damian. Not only does Drew cash in, but because of the CM Punk interference, Drew unsuccessfully cashed in. Our Money in the Bank for the men is gone until next year. That's another thing we have to think about. There will be no Money in the Bank on the men's side for the next 12 months. How do you feel about that?
I don't feel like we need it. I feel like we have so many good storylines. We do not need it. We don't need it. I loved this. This was my favorite match of the night. I specifically remember when CM Punk came back at the end of Survivor Series, how mad Seth was. If you saw the footage, they were holding him back, right?
Oh yeah.
So right. So for me, and they have a history, right? So for me, I loved this match. I loved everything about it. I liked the fact that Drew was impatient and he wanted to win his back. He has no type of patience in this at all, and I feel like that's what's building it up even more. I feel like he's going to be chasing the title forever too. I loved it. This was 10 out of 10 in my book.
Do you feel like this is a Seth Rollins heel turn that's coming down the pike?
I don't think he's ever really been a face, in my opinion.
Well, he's definitely a face right now.
I get it, but I feel like he's gonna be the same person. I mean, it could be a heel turn. I don't. That wouldn't be something that is going to be detrimental to this. I feel like
not at all. Let me clarify though. Like Austin back in the day when he joined the Alliance, like right. Austin was never, and I always loved that promo. Who said I was your hero? I never said I was a role model. I never said I was your hero. When did I say I wanted to be your hero? So it's the same thing with Seth Rollins. Yeah, we cheer Seth Rollins. We all do the oh. But one day he might get mad to the point where he beats the crap out of CM Punk with a chair or beats the crap out of him with some brass knuckles, and then the fans turn on him because we all know that if it's Seth versus CM Punk, the fans are going to choose CM Punk.
I mean, I get it. It would be a perfect time for him to turn heel, but I would love him in either way. You know how I feel about him. I love Seth. No
doubt. So do I. James, what say you? Where do we go from here with Seth Rollins and this budding rivalry with CM Punk? I mean, obviously, Drew's a major component as well. That's just getting started. So it's almost like a triple threat storyline.
Well, let me just say this. Like there was, like Conrad said, there were certain pieces that fit the puzzle. You already do the stipulation. If Seth loses, he can never challenge for the title as long as Priest is holding it. Mm-hmm. You know, and it was either if Drew loses or if Priest loses, can no longer be in the Judgment Day. He already threw it at his, crew. Don't get involved in the match. Now you're kind of making Drew or Priest in a way of being a paper champion, just winning in different scenarios. Punk interferes as a referee. He beats McIntyre. This time he wins because CM Punk got involved. You're throwing multiple stories into one mix. It's a perfect sequence. I think the story was made perfectly. I don't think anybody else, like Chad's already doing his situation. with everybody else. He's going to, obviously have the Creed brothers with him.
Mhm.
Jay's going to be a different scenario, but, personally for me, I mean, when Gunther wins the title, which is SummerSlam, which I probably going to happen more likely, I'm assuming. I don't know what the chances of him going after like Cody. Probably not. I don't know if they even had how long of plans they were going to have for Jay and them to go down with Cody. I'm pretty sure Cody was going to probably hold it for probably longer than we think. Same with Gunther. He's probably going to go just as long of a title streak when he had the IC title. You're kind of putting Punk, like he said, he wants to be public enemy number one. He wants everyone to hate him at this point. He doesn't care. He wants chaos. I know everyone was saying before was, you need a world title. You need this in the rivalry. Not necessarily true. You want to rebuild that whole rivalry with Seth Rollins and Punk. We were going to have that, and then injuries started going with, so they had to switch different directions. Now Punk has issues with Seth Rollins. He has issues with McIntyre. You got multiple people. You just had Bad Blood, coming back in October. There's so many spectacular stories you can do with that. Triple threat, maybe there's going to be a potential tag match later down the road if those two team up with them, I don't know. But it's a perfect storytelling. They had to do it this way. They had to.
If I get ready to throw it back to Jess, couldn't that now? Maybe I'm trying to make sure I'm hearing you guys right. Are we saying that the reason why my logic? Forget Jey Uso. Obviously, everybody knows I'm Jey Uso, a big Jey Uso fan. But forget Jey Uso. Are we saying that the reason why we couldn't have had CM Punk interfere and cost Drew the Money in the Bank and have the same effect? Are we saying that because then Seth Rollins would not have been involved? Is that what we're saying?
I think that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that this is how it had to play out, man. Like, you told the story at WrestleMania. Damian Priest cashed in, screwed over Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
He's answering back. You had to tell it this way. If it was any other way, then I guess it could have fit. But where do you go from Jey Uso? Plus,
forget Jey Uso. Forget that.
Okay, let me just say this too.
Right.
I'm with Crystal, man. That Money in the Bank crap needs to go away. Like
really, you don't like the Money in the Bank?
I'm so sick of this whole cash in.
Wow.
I'm just over it, man. If you're gonna have the Money in the Bank, have these matches be at WrestleMania again. We don't need a full pay-per-view talking about Money in the Bank. We just don't need it. I was thrilled that Drew got rid of that briefcase the same night. Now, we don't have to see him walking around with a briefcase and threatening to cash in at every little moment. Having Monday Night Raw end on, he almost cashed in, but it got interrupted. Like, I just don't need that anymore. We've told those stories several times. We beat them to death. So I think that they nailed this one, man. Like, I think I'm with Crystal. This was my match of the night. I actually predicted it to go down this way too. I knew Drew was winning, and when he won, I knew that he was going to cash in tonight. Like that was my prediction. He was going to cash in. CM Punk was going to interfere, screw him over. I didn't think about the whole Seth Rollins thing until it happened. And then I was like, wow, they really hit, 4 stories with this one cash in. That's pretty incredible. And plus, you're in the cinema era. They had to tell it this way. And I know Conrad doesn't like that word, but that is what they're doing. They're telling major stories, long-term stories, and they're continuing it on. And this was the perfect way to do it.
Well, I'm going to go a little bit off topic here, and I'm going to say I don't know what the heck is going on with this number that I'm looking at, but I don't know if it's because of Triller and the partnership that we have with them, or obviously Everything Pro Wrestling. Crystal's in the building. Obviously, Pro Wrestling Shoot has a major following, but my numbers are off the rails right now. That must be some kind of mistake, but I'm just going to say thank you. Are y'all seeing that number that I'm seeing right now?
275 watching right now.
That is nuts. I have never had numbers like that before. That is crazy
Hi,
talk.
guys and gals.
Woo! That's nuts. I want to thank. Whoa, I got chills right there. That's crazy. So I think this is a good time to do a little promotional work because I don't know what's going on. I might
Make sure you guys like the video, please, so more can follow and more can find.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Oh, that's crazy. This has to be attributed to Pro Wrestling Shoot and EPW being in the building. Crystal, I appreciate you guys. But while we have a quick moment, make sure you guys are ready for Slammiversary coming up from TNA, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, on July 20th, 2024 from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. That will be taking place, again, on July 20th. Make sure you go to trillertv.com to order. It is going to be a very stellar pay-per-view card coming up on that night. AJ Francis versus PCO, Mustafa Ali defending the TNA X Division Championship against Mike Bailey, and so much more, including Jordan Grace versus Ash by Elegance for the TNA Knockouts Championship. So once again, trillertv.com. Tune in on July 20th. Order right now. Conrad, it's Tiffy time. What do we think about Tiffany Stratton? Now, by the way, let me get back on my high horse for a second and talk about how we're supposed to be patient, right? Now, I predicted that Tiffany Stratton would win. I have no problem with Tiffany Stratton winning. But we don't have to wait for Tiffany Stratton to have her moment, right? So why do we have to? I'm just saying. But anyway, Conrad, it's Tiffy time. We have a new Miss Money in the Bank. The only Money in the Bank that's available right now because the men's has gone away. She's carrying that briefcase onto Friday Night SmackDown. How do you feel about it?
Cool. I'm happy with it. That's who I picked to win. She's the up-and-comer. I think you have to see the vision of Triple H, Sean. Maybe this will help you. Triple H has certain people from NXT that are his people that he is focused on. If you were his person in the past, that don't mean nothing. If you were his person before, if you're not already a draw, that means nothing. He's looking at Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Tiffany Stratton. Those are the people who he is going to try to build up right now. There was a storyline there for Naomi, I thought. Chelsea Green and the borderline foolishness that was going on, I wasn't that big of a fan. And I don't think anyone else really had a shot. I didn't see EO pulling the Punk back to back. Someone will eventually do that, but not right now. And we talked about Money in the Bank disappearing. I personally feel the same way, that it should disappear. But I do realize how much money you make off of it. You sell those briefcases. It comes in the toy packages. There's too much money on the line to get rid of something like that. And I want to go back to Sami Zayn here for a second, too.
Oh, God.
No, just for 30 seconds.
No.
We talk about people being happy. Sami Zayn's the Intercontinental Champion. And if you listen to his interviews and stuff when they ask him certain questions, he doesn't sound happy. He's not happy because the same thing you're saying, Sean. If I build myself up, am I going to get something? Well, no. You know what I mean? That's kind of what he feels. So what am I doing here then? Why would Sami Zayn try if he can't be in the world title picture? What is he? You get what I'm saying? Like, what is he working towards? He's in his 40s. Like, he's like, where am I going with this? Late 30s, 40s, whatever. I don't know how old Sami Zayn is. Someone look it up. But what is he working towards? Like, if he comes in tomorrow and he's hot, are you going to put the belt on me? Like, are you going to be like, let's go with this guy. Let's try it.
But see, that angers me even more. Not that your point's not valid. Anybody chime in on this. Sammy is a highly decorated WWE guy. Highly decorated. Multiple Intercontinental Championships. Unified Tag Team Champion. Like, Sami Zayn Sami Zayn's resume is better than Jey Uso's. So what could he possibly have to complain about? Oh, do you think Sami Zayn, does anybody on this expert panel think that Sami Zayn is world championship material?
Yes. I think he can be. Not long term, but I think he could be the champion.
Oh, okay. I don't.
I think he's an underdog.
Yeah, I feel like he's one of those people, like I said earlier, who does not need a title. I feel like his storyline with the Bloodline was one of the best I've seen. And maybe tag champs, but I don't see him as I don't see him as anything more than IC. But that's my, it's my humble.
I don't know, man. James, talk to me, man. Since Conrad brought it up, it's a good point of conversation. Do you think Sami Zayn is world championship material?
Yeah, I think, like Crystal said, yeah, his best time was during the Bloodline. The crowd was going wild, the honorary use, his match at, Elimination Chamber in Canada, of course. That was his high run, and then it kind of just steamed down once him and Kevin won the titles, and then he was just lost in the shuffle. Now here he is, IC champion, beating Gunther, which was, out of the blue to many. I've heard the interviews, and he seems very, displeased and everything with Triple H. Somebody mentioned he's 39, turning 40 next week.
Yeah, the 12.
I mean, the same thing with it's the same thing with like LA Knight. You know, when is he going to get his time? He's almost in his 50s. He's getting there. Do I see Sammy as world championship material? I think his steam has died down for me personally. I think he had his time with the Bloodline, and then it just chopped down. Once they won the tag titles, no one really cared about him.
But see, James, what you just did, my brother, indirectly, unknowingly, proved my point from earlier. Sami Zayn was as hot as fish grease in February of 2023, right? Now, and this is not really directed towards you, James. I'm just piggybacking off of what you just said. This is more towards Crystal and Jesse. This whole Jey Uso has all the time in the world thing is not true. It's just not.
Can
Feel
I say
free,
something?
Jesse or Crystal, to chime in. That point about Sami Zayn is exactly what I'm saying. Nobody was hotter in the entire industry than Sami Zayn in February 2023. Go ahead.
Sami Zayn's not as cool as Jey Uso.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Even so, that's not the point. That's true, but that's not the point.
When Sami Zayn was going off and the fans were going in and
The
wanting
fans were
Sami
going
Zayn,
8 for Sami Zayn.
okay, yeah. Okay, this was the new shiny toy at the time. Jey Uso is not that. Jey Uso is authentically over. There is a difference. Sami Zayn was a part of a Hold on. Sami Zayn was a part of a bloodline story that was hot.
Right.
That was it. He had his funny moments in the bloodline story. He got over with those funny moments. Outside of that bloodline, talk to me.
I mean, no question he was hottest in the blood. I'm just talking about people who are hot that you need to strike while that iron is hot.
How entertaining is he outside of that bloodline?
He's not. There's no question about it. He's not. He's not. I'm not saying.
Conrad, I see your face. Hold on. You think he's entertaining?
Yes.
On the mic?
I think he's very good. I think he's underappreciated.
Outside of the bloodline?
Yes, I love how Sami Zayn sells. I think him and Rey Mysterio are the best sellers in the company when it comes to. I feel bad for you because you are getting demolished right now, dude. Get up. And then he's just getting chopped and he's falling. He looks like he can't do anything. And you feel bad for him. You're like, dude, get up, fight back, fight back. Think of the match with Kevin Owens in NXT. He got destroyed, bro. This dude won the NXT title. He was the happiest man in the world. He went in there with his best friend and got demolished. He let his friend destroy him and never got anything back from it, except for a feud on the main roster. Sami Zayn, I think, is very good, and people don't appreciate him for his talents. I'm not saying what James said. That's why I was doing this. It was striking while the iron's hot because you don't get that with everyone. And if you ever wanted to test it, this is the time to test it. Don't wait till later and then say, nah, you really weren't over because that was your time to do it and you didn't do it. He was over for months.
Can I give you an illustration real quick?
Go, Jesse.
Sami Zayn lost the title. Sami Zayn lost the title match against Roman Reigns. Buzz went away. Jey Uso's lost multiple title matches. How's that buzz doing?
That buzz is gone for me.
Are you trying to convince me that Jey Uso's popping? You don't have to convince me of that.
No. I'm asking Conrad. Like, that's the difference.
No,
right?
But this is the same thing with Chad Gable. The buzz was there for 7 title matches. You blew it. You had the chance to make me care about Chad Gable. You're like, let's turn him heel. And I'm like, all right, I'm still on board with this, but you need to do what I think you're going to do. Nah, we're not going to do it now. I don't care. I don't care about Chad Gable in this title match anymore. Move on. I'm over it. Do whatever you're going to do with the Wyatt 6 with him. I'm done with it.
Funny enough, but now I'm looking at Chad Gable. Like, I feel like you're done, but now I feel like, oh, he's not doing the shoes. So now I'm like, wait a minute. Now you're interesting. Now there's different dimensions to you. So as you tell me you're not interested, now I'm looking. Now on Raw, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not going to change the channel. I'm going to look at this guy. So we're not on the same page with him. Now I actually
expound on that. Go deeper. Like, as far as character development, are you saying that there's certain characters that you will not get tired of depending on how they perform?
Absolutely. And also how they're presented to me. LA Knight as a stupid model guy, it pissed me off, right?
Oh, that was dumb. Dumb.
LA Knight now I'm like, you know, from the first time I did this podcast with you, I'm like, LA Knight, yeah. Like, it's a difference on how you present people. How they're presenting Chad Gable to me now as this jerk. I want to watch it. I'm not changing the channel on him. Even Otis, I'm like, oh, now you gave me some depth to Otis, so now I want to watch it. Now I'm interested in it. So I also feel it's like how you present these people. Sami Zayn, from when he was fighting and had that stupid mousetrap and the thing, I was like, get him out of here. This is the stupidest thing I've seen in my life.
Agreed.
Right? The next year, all of a sudden, he was with the Bloodline. I'm like, make him an honorary Uso. It's all about character development. But even with character development, I do not think that Sammy needs a title to be successful.
We agree on that, and I'm throwing it to you, James, from here. Crystal, keep that motor that motor going, Crystal. I'm gonna throw it to James. To piggyback, though, the problem is this, guys. I think we're kind of all saying the same thing, but not really saying the same thing. You can't continue to assume that somebody's going to stay popping forever. That's the problem I'm having with WWE right now. Okay, Jay will always be there. Don't worry. Everybody's going to be eating forever. It's just not true, James.
Yeah, we've seen it collectively with other superstars. We've seen it with Rusev when Rusev Day was very over for some time, and they had Mahal win, I think it was a U.S. title. You had Zack Ryder with his old YouTube Long Island IC show. He eventually won the IC title, and I think he lost it the following night after that, and It just went down the bowl. It's like, with everyone presenting it here, Sammy was, over at a time that a group was, very fire, and then he slipped. Jay, he was big in the Bloodline, but then once he did this single competitor status going to Raw, it boomed for him, and the fans are backing him up. Yes, I understand he's 0-7 in title matches. He will get his shine. I kind of just believe in this scenario where he's not going to go after Cody for the title. Like I said, Gunther's going to probably be world champion, probably have a long title reign, and Jay doesn't seem like he would be the one to cash in. And I want to piggyback on this earlier. There's no Money in the Bank, for the rest of the year. We had major complaints numerous of times, someone holding it for long and, just tirelessly ended. I mean, how many times did people bag on Damon Priest? There's someone lay down in the ring. He's not doing squat. He's backstage and catering or whatever. Eventually did it at WrestleMania, and it was worth it. But the Money in the Bank thing has crashed and burned. It was very traditional. Go to WrestleMania, do it, and I get it. The money is there with selling briefcases at shows and whatnot. But I'm kind of glad this whole thing is done. We have Tiffany Stratton win Money in the Bank, and that's fine and dandy. That's Triple H's people. But it was perfect storytelling. You got to expand on these stories, like Chris was mentioned with Chad Gable. His character, the whole shush thing. You got to develop these guys. I've never seen Otis this popular. We had this disaster when he was a Money in the Bank briefcase holder, and that died down for Miz winning it just for Lashley to get a title shot. It was horrible. You got to give these guys more. You can expand more with these character development. Like Jey Uso, we've never seen him as a singles competitor until he left the faction. Chad Gable, we never seen how he is by himself now. Now he's going to present himself. Yeah, I was kind of on the butt end of he should have beat Sammy. Now I'm like, okay, eventually he's going to try to weave in that the White Six are attacking him, and he wants the Alpha Academy to be back with him just for him to strike right back at them with the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile. You got to give him the development. He's more popular for me. I was rooting for him in this match, honestly. He's very interesting. Sammy's just, like you guys mentioned, he doesn't need the title. He didn't need the title. Was in the bloodline. He was over without the championship. There's certain superstars. I've heard it with Finn Balor, and I get his situation was bad, winning the title and then getting injured. And I don't know what his situation is. If he's ever going to go for the world title, maybe eventually develop and turn on Damian Priest, and you get that whole thing. We'll see and find out. You just got to give it some time. I know I've heard it numerous of times.
I hear you. I got a question from the chat that I want everybody to answer. A really good one from T3Z. He asked, I would like to get everyone's thoughts on which WrestleMania main event we're getting, for WrestleMania 41. Is it going to be Rock versus Cody or Rock Cena 4? Remember, either match will be for the WWE Championship. We can go around the horn. Conrad, what are you thinking?
I have my top 3 matches in my mind on what they do.
Okay.
The Rock will be the WWE champion going into WrestleMania. On one of the nights, I'm assuming Sunday, He's going to face Roman Reigns. Night 1 will be CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Rollins will find some way to capture the world title from Gunther, I think. And then it'll be Punk versus Rollins that night. In your other match, John Cena, which I assume we're about to get into that too in a second.
Mm-hmm.
He makes his announcement. He's going to be wrestling, whatever. It sounds like it's his farewell. See ya. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Give Cody that match against John Cena. You've shown that you invested in this dude. You did that whole special this week that people are slandering The Rock for. If Rock would have said he was taking that match, slander. If Rock said that he gave it away, slander. He's lying. So he can't win. So at this point, give Cody that match. People love Cody. And let those two have that match that Cody always wanted.
Jess, what do you think the WrestleMania 41 main event is going to be?
It's Rock Roman, 100%.
Wow.
Rock Roman. Yeah, you have to go back to that. They gave Cody his moment, but I 100% agree with Conrad. It is. I thought that as soon as John Cena announced his retirement, I was like, it's going to be Cody versus John Cena for the title at WrestleMania in the farewell. His final WrestleMania. That's the match we're going to get, because you already got. I think we're aiming for Punk and Seth at Mania, because that was supposed to be on last year's card.
Yes.
Drew and Punk are going to get done before we get to Mania. So where does that leave The Rock and Cody? I think that The Rock and Cody could possibly happen at Royal Rumble if that's going to happen, but I don't think that it's going to happen at SummerSlam, and I don't think it's going to happen at WrestleMania. It's got to be Royal Rumble, because War Games is set aside, obviously, for what they're building right now with the two bloodline factions. But yeah, Rock, Roman, main event, night 2, WrestleMania.
James, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think I agree with everyone else. Rock Roman it's right there. I think Rock is going to go in there as champion just to prove it to Roman that, I'm the true tribal chief in this whole thing. And I know people hated the idea about the championship, but I think it makes sense for me to put it in there. And with Cena's decision of, retiring, I know people have said, I know you guys were saying Cody and Cena. I don't know if they're going to go throwback and do it one last time, maybe a Cena versus Orton. Right. I've heard that. I mean, it's a legacy. It's been there for numerous of years.
Did everybody watch the press conference with John Cena?
Yeah.
Okay, so he did announce that he's still going to be doing a run after WrestleMania.
Yeah, through December.
Yep, yeah, so he's got quite a bit of time left on his bump card.
Which makes me think that he could, if he does fight for a championship, he might win.
I mentioned breaking the record, maybe.
Bro, give him the record.
Farewell. Why not?
Give him the record.
I just wrote it in the chat too. I said technically Rock and Roman don't need the title.
They never did.
Yeah.
They never did.
Whoa.
And we're also forgetting too the premiere of them on Netflix. So I feel like I don't know if Rock and Roman are gonna be on if it'll make it to WrestleMania or if they're gonna do it on Netflix.
That would be an amazing debut on Netflix, Crystal. I'm with you.
What about Cody Rock on Netflix?
I don't think it's as big as Rock and Roman.
What draft?
But you really
draft? Hashtag what draft?
is The Rock on? The Rock's on SmackDown.
The Rock is technically SmackDown. Technically.
Well, technically he's free agent. I think he's free agent.
He's free roamer.
But I don't know, man. I still think that Rock Roman has to be WrestleMania. It's Vegas. You got to do it in Vegas.
Crystal, who do you think is going to main event 41?
I don't know. Usually I'm able to tell you guys. I don't know. I'll probably know. I feel like I'll know by SummerSlam. I don't know now. I can't call it. Especially because I don't know how they're going to move with Cena either. So I feel like Cena's going to be in it against who I don't know. I definitely feel like Rock is going to be in it.
I feel like John Cena, because he's a humble dude, from what I think, he would probably demand that he's not the main event of night 2.
You just call The Rock a humble dude?
Did I say The Rock? I meant to say John. Did I say The Rock?
Cena.
Yeah, I think I just said Cena. Yeah, I think Cena's a humble dude. I think Cena would probably go to whoever and say, I don't want to be I see your face, Conrad. If I'm wrong, clearly I don't know John Cena personally. The way he comes across, he seems to be a humble dude. Like he'd be like, I don't want to be main event at night 2. I'll be main event at
I'm
night
like our Taurus brother, The Rock. How dare you?
Well, so the Rock is going to be main event night 2, regardless of whether The Rock won. I mean, everybody knows The Rock is going to be night 2, regardless. To me, Cena deserves a main event, probably not night 2, but I mean, like since he's going to be around till December, like I said, though, you never know. He might shock the world and win number 17. That's the thing that's freaking me out. Like when he said that he's going to be around till December, that's a big deal. But let's move on to the main event. It's obviously Tiffy time. Now we're going into the 6-man tag. Anybody feel funny about the 6-man tag being in the main event?
I hated it.
Yeah, I hated it too.
Yeah.
I hate 6-man tags and I hate 3-ways. I just hate it. Today was I hate it. It bores me to death, and I hate seeing people roll out the ring and stay there and look like this. I hate all of it.
Do y'all see why I love this girl? This is my sister, man.
Where's Derek at?
You're on top of your game, Chris. I don't like it either. I really don't.
Man, I hate trios matches. I will scream it from the rooftop every time. I think that the Damian Priest match should have been main event. There was nothing that really happened in this main event for it to be main event, I guess. It's cool. Solo, they planted the seeds. Solo, Cody, SummerSlam. I get it. I think that's what's going to lead into The Rock coming back because Solo's going to lose that big one.
The Rock coming back, not Roman coming back?
No, The Rock. Well, yeah, Roman too.
Oh,
but
okay.
I think that this is going to bring The Rock back into the fold because right now you got Solo calling himself the tribal chief. And he said that the reason why he's the tribal chief is because Roman couldn't hang. He couldn't defend the title. He couldn't keep it going. So what happens when Solo loses the championship match against Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam?
Which he will.
And The Rock comes back and proclaims himself as the head of the table because technically The Rock pinned Cody Rhodes night 1.
Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where we're going, man. That's going to lead into the Bloodline Civil War.
Real quickly, the Civil War between the Bloodline, right? I feel like
there's no Civil War technically yet. It's coming.
Yeah, right. It's coming, right? But I'm looking at who would be on each side. I feel like there's no real beast to handle Jacob Fatu on Roman's side for me yet. I'm not seeing it. Like if you have the Usos, that's cool, but they're not as vicious. Like you need somebody vicious. You can't have Solo and Jacob on one side and then the Usos. Like to me, it's not matching up, and maybe there needs to be someone else coming in. But I don't.
There's plenty of Fatus to go around.
Yeah. Zilla Fatu, that fourth one, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah,
you want to know? Yo, I really thought that Sami Zayn was going to be part of the OGs, though. That's what
I think he will. I still think he will.
Okay.
I think he has to, man. You got to bring back honorary Uso for it. You know what I mean? You have.
That's the beauty. Now I'm not. See, look, for all it's going to sound like I'm talking about both sides of my mouth. As much as I want to see Jey Uso become the World Heavyweight Champion, and he still could have been World Heavyweight Champion with this storyline still being what it is. But either way, him reuniting with Jimmy the only reason I don't want him to reunite with Jimmy is because I feel like it's going to stifle his championship aspirations. But him reuniting with Jimmy is going to be so freaking epic, y'all. And then when they finally get back on the same page with Roman Reigns, and then they look around and there's only 3 of them, and they're like, we need a 4th guy, and here's Sami Zayn talking to Otis and Maxine down the other end of the hallway, and he's like, oh, that's gonna be so freaking cool, man. Like the possibilities are the only thing the numbers don't add up. That's the problem I'm having. Because when The Rock comes back, he's gonna align himself with Solo, right?
What if he kicks Solo out of the Bloodline for losing against Cody?
Yeah, but I don't think that Solo's going to come back the other way either.
What do you mean?
I don't think he's going to be on Roman's side.
Oh, no. I mean, like, he's exiled from the Bloodline.
Oh,
he already turned on Roman.
Yeah.
And what, you think Solo then becomes a breakout star by himself?
A literal Solo?
He could. I don't know.
I still say, by the way, Conrad knows this. I still say that Paul Heyman. I still say Paul Heyman might turn on Roman Reigns. I know he got thrown through a table.
That boy was.
I'm just saying, Paul Paul Heyman's the kind of guy, correct me if I'm wrong, Paul Heyman's the kind of guy, when you start cheering him too much, he's going to make you boo him again.
Anybody check on Paul? Paul went through that table real. Paul was hurt.
Paul is at home chilling. He's waiting to make his return to a hero's welcome.
He's up here by us.
Yeah, I know. He's chilling up in Westchester. Yep.
That boy's face turned so red as soon as he got up on Boy's shoulders.
He looked like
diluted eyes.
He looked like he was scared about that spot before it started. Like, this is what I gotta do tonight.
Yo, Paul Heyman's a soldier, man. I never thought he would take a bump through a table at his age. Like, Paul Heyman really is the OG. He really is the OG.
Brock? It's Brock, right?
Oh yeah, I mean he does it every once in a while, but like you gotta if you notice, like Paul Heyman's a little older, like he seems like he's aged kind of quickly. Now, obviously, he didn't sleep the night before, which is, by the way, how epic is that? He purposely didn't go to sleep the previous night. He purposely didn't shave. How cool is that guy? Good Lord, he's smart. Man, cinema, Conrad. Cinema. I love it. Conrad, say something.
Where's the story?
Oh, it's there. There's quite
I know. You should win an Emmy for what you did. Sit down. Take it easy. All right now.
He really should.
Yo, WWE tells the best stories in the industry, but like I said before, if you oh my God, if you could take the in-ring action of AEW and transport it into the storylines of WWE, you have the greatest wrestling organization ever.
If you could take the selling from the WWE stars to the AEW stars.
Yeah, touche.
Then you would have the greatest wrestling organization. But yes, I agree, man. I think that AEW has been doing a lot better. I think that they're trying with what they have. You know what I mean? They took quite the hit in 2022, man.
So listen, guys, do we have any problem with any of the results of Money in the Bank? Do we all feel that Drew McIntyre should have won Money in the Bank, yay or nay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we all feel that Sami Zayn should have defeated Braun Breaker? I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
In an extent, different fashion.
Okay, fair enough. Do we all agree that Damian Priest, let's just say Damian Priest walking out of Money in the Bank still champion? Is that good with you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok. Them days are numbered, but yeah, sure.
You know what, too? We didn't speak about that little conversation him and Finn Balor had. That was really good because I thought that Finn was going to interrupt this match.
Oh, it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it is. I thought it was coming tonight.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
If there's one thing you know about Triple H, when you think you're getting it, you ain't getting it tonight. You're gonna be waiting a little bit more. We got a month more of this.
Little phrase we came up with on Clash of the Podcast, and it goes a little something like this: if it sounds like a good idea, you know what that means. They're probably not gonna do it. Oh, you know what?
You know why they make you wait?
Make you wait
so
forever.
you tune in next week.
Oh
Yep.
my God. Yo, you know I boycotted WWE television for like 8 months. 8 months. And I would only catch up on YouTube just for the sake of doing the show with Conrad because they were pissing me off so much. Like tonight felt like that. Y'all heard my tirade in the DMs. I was freaking pissed. Freaking pissed. But look, at the end of the day, though, the Bloodline, obviously, we all agree the Bloodline should have won for purposes of what's to come down the pike at SummerSlam, right? I mean, I think we all thought, am I wrong? Did we all predict that it was going to be Rock and Roman at SummerSlam, or was that just my imagination? That was too soon. Because I thought it was going to be Roman in a match. Because at this point,
That's too big
Roman's
of a
not
match.
going to... Huh?
That's too big of a match for SummerSlam.
Yeah, no doubt. What I'm saying is we're not going to see Roman in the ring at SummerSlam the way it's looking right now. Are you guys okay with that? Or
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay if he never comes back.
All right.
Wait a minute.
No,
Hold up.
That's right. We need more Undertaker. Okay.
Wow, you got to elaborate on that. What do you mean? That's crazy talk.
I've seen enough Roman Reigns to go around, man. Like he was shoved down my throat for years upon years with the big dog crap. Like I'm glad that he got over with me even finally with the tribal chief. You know, I like him as the bloodline tribal chief, but I've seen enough. I'm good.
You've seen enough.
Look, when he does his match with The Rock, what else has he got to do?
Well, he's got okay. Well, let's answer that question. honestly and honorably. Roman Rock, Roman Cody, Roman Solo. That's 3.
Roman putting over the new guys that Triple H is building up now.
Does anybody?
I could do another Roman Drew.
Does
Roman
anybody,
Punk.
Look, we've
with
seen
Heyman.
Roman Drew though, like several
See?
times.
I could do,
No,
but
but-
I could do it one more time. I mean, if they've repeated many things again and again and again. I could do it one more time. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Clash at the Castle with them.
Is
No,
anybody
I
really
could do it one
interested
time.
in seeing Solo versus Roman? Because
I'm not interested in
No,
seeing
I'm not.
Solo versus anybody. I'm not a big Solo fan at all. Let's put
I'm
that
not
out there
either.
right now.
You know how you ruined that?
Not either.
Making them lose all the time.
0-34.
You know what? Once he started wearing shoes in his promos, I didn't like it. When he started wearing shoes in his promo, I was like, forget it. Like it just took me with those suits. Like, listen, I need him one way. I can't have him wearing a suit and no shoes to the ring. I can't do it. It's too much of a change for me.
Yo,
Distracted?
to your point, Chris, it looks like he's trying to be the final boss. That's what it looks like to me.
The Weekend.
I thought every woman liked a well-dressed man. What happened?
He's
Look,
not
the brother-
well dressed. Have you seen him with those velvet shirts on? It's
No,
horrible.
the brother looks good in his suit. The brother cleans up pretty nicely.
Okay, he has on a velvet T-shirt. No,
I mean, no, it could be better.
Let
It
me,
could
let
be
me
a
ask in
messy-
the next room how she felt about it.
All right.
All I'm
I
saying
just had to get that answer, Crystal. I'm sorry.
Roman Reigns coming back to keep it serious for a minute. You know, Lance Storm. Shout out to Lance Storm. Rock Roman, Solo Roman, Solo Cody. No, I'm bugging out. Okay, let me reverse it so I can sound right. Roman Rock, Roman Solo, Roman Cody. That to me, sign
Jacob
me up
got
for all.
two.
Oh God, imagine that. Good Lord. You're not interested in that, Jesse?
I'm interested in anything that Jacob Fatu has to do in the WWE right now. I
Fair
like
enough.
Jacob Fatu, but
he looks really good.
Yo, he looks like he lost weight too.
you see that jump off the top rope tonight? You
Oh
can
my
see
God.
that his face was very concentrated on not messing that up, because I've seen him mess up in the indies before doing that same spot, but this time the way he runned up when Cody had him going for the crossroads again, it looked like he was focused, man. So kudos to him. He's really trying to make this work because he knows that this is his big opportunity. So anything that Jacob does, I'm excited for right now.
Well,
So,
guys, Money in the Bank is in the books. I don't know how I feel about this pay-per-view, man. I mean, it was all right. Take it or leave it. It was all right. You know what I'm
Hey.
saying? Like,
Sean, what do they got to do though for you? Besides, like, if Jey Uso wins, is that like an A pay-per-view for you?
no, I'm
Yes.
not. No. Conrad will tell you. Just if Jey Uso wins, that doesn't make it an A pay-per-view. Look, real talk. I don't think the Money in the Bank was the men's Money in the Bank was a well-wrestled match. I don't.
It was okay.
I think
didn't think it was bad.
I think the ladies dwarfed them tonight.
They usually do though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Were you a big fan of the Intercontinental Championship match? Not really. It wasn't great to me.
I liked it. Honestly, the match that I disliked the most of the night was the main event,
Wow. Okay.
and
I
that
think
had
that
all
was
the
just
guys that I
bad
wanted to see
placement.
in it.
Yeah. Bad placement, the typical ref bump, and yeah.
All I'm saying is that there was once upon a time. Indulge me for a second, won't you, guys and lady who's currently off screen for a moment. There was once upon a time where you had an old guy, his son, his daughter, and his son-in-law stand in the ring. And they said something that, in this ballpark, okay, I'm paraphrasing. We want to give the fans what they want. That is our goal moving forward. Me, the old guy, who will not mention on this show, my son, my daughter, and my son-in-law, we hear you, wrestling fans. We know that you are not happy with our product, and we're going to do everything in our power to make it better, because we want what you want, and whatever you want is what we want, and that is the way we are going to handle business from here on out. Do you feel like they've lived up to those expectations? I don't.
I think that a sold out crowd every single night.
Oh, don't get me started with the sold out crowd.
The truth. Listen, this is scripted. What they said to you was scripted. Why are you taking their words for? What are you talking about?
No, that was an outreach to the fans. That night on Raw when they stood in the ring, that was an outreach to the fans to let them know that we hear the fact that you think we suck right now.
That's great. And
well, they did suck right then. I agree.
Right. Yeah. Let's call a spade a spade.
They were terrible.
Right.
Look, WWE was terrible for years, right? Years.
I stopped watching at one point.
Yeah, me too. And this right now is night and day. It is night and day on how they're doing things.
Outside of the bloodline, it's not night. And I'll get in Cody.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
I said Cody too.
No. I mean, like, there's tons of stories going on. I'm actually enjoying Monday Night Raw every night. I am every Monday.
Okay, out of 5 hours of live television, I'm just talking about SmackDown and Raw.
I don't watch SmackDown. I don't have time. But
you don't. Okay, fair enough. No, well, out of 5 hours of main wrestling television on WWE programming, you think? I mean, there's maybe like 30 minutes of it is top tier.
I would say so. Yeah, I'm entertained by it. I don't know. It comes down to like what you're liking. If you don't like the way WWE does things, I hear it all the time. Oh God, 3 hours of programming and only 30 minutes of pro wrestling. Oh God. Like, bro, then just watch AEW. You know what I mean? Like, if that's what you like, then rock with it, bro. You know what I mean? But
I've seen so many good days in WWE where this kind of like, it just doesn't add up to me. Like, to me, Cody Rhodes is a tremendous champion. Roman Reigns was a tremendous champion. So we're coming off of 2 back-to-back champions that you can really get behind. And we all agree that the WWE Championship, formerly the Universal Championship, is the number 1 championship in the company, right? Seth Rollins made the world title mean something. Cool. But it's like at the end of the day, when you think about the tag team division is weak. Holy crap.
I think it's like that across the board, if you ask me. And I'm including every company into that.
You think the AEW tag team scene is weak
terrible.
Right now?
It's terrible. Yeah. In my opinion,
I hear you.
I think the best thing that AEW has going for them right now is their women's division. That's honestly what I think.
As Conrad takes a bow.
I've been saying it for months.
That's their women's division is fantastic. It's enjoyable. Yeah. There's nobody better than Toni Storm right now on TV in the women.
Oh, well, we agree on that. Yeah. Toni Storm is hot as fire right now.
Yeah. So, and that's just, you pick and choose what you like about the shows. There's always going to be something that you don't like, but for me to sit there and be like, oh, this product sucks, it would be a lie for me, because
WWE doesn't suck. I just think WWE is very lackadaisical as it relates to their promise to us. Like,
I think they're hitting on all cylinders to their promise.
Okay, let's. Does it make any sense to you that Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair lost the women's tag team titles?
It made no sense to have them go for the tag team titles to begin with.
Really? That was supposed to rebuild it. Oh, wow. Okay.
Get rid of the tag titles. Like, the women don't need tag team titles. Give them a mid-card title and call it a day.
It's funny you say that. Someone did mention that there's talks of bringing a mid-card women's US and IC title now.
Yeah, that'd be great. Great.
Yeah, the tag division is horrible. You had, when they did the whole draft, majority of the women are on SmackDown. And there's like 2 tag teams on Raw. There's not that many competitors for Cody, where you have to call back The Rock to do a match because, I mean, yeah, he's going to go through eventually at some point Randy, if Kevin ever gets maybe another chance. And there's really not much on that roster over there. The tag division is awful. I mean, you had DIY win the championships with the tag team. Like, yeah. You had a tag team that was currently the champions that was breaking apart, made no sense.
Yeah,
they had R-Truth and Miz win just for them to lose the Judgment Day right off the bat, not too long. There's horrible cylinders in both companies. AEW, the women's division, fantastic. They all have their flaws.
Keep MJF heel for as long as possible, please.
Oh, wow. So you thought that change last Wednesday was a good one?
Yes, absolutely. His face is terrible.
I agree. I thought they did it too fast.
Oh, no.
I think the whole...
They do it fast enough.
The whole devil thing screwed him up, where he had to go in the face when it should have been reversed roles.
Okay.
And now, thankfully, he's the heel. Thank goodness.
I hear that. I thought they did it too fast upon his return. Like, it could have at least waited to Wembley until he maybe had a big boom in Wembley. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was kind of my
As far as the tag division goes for the women's titles in WWE, they don't even have a men's tag division, let alone a women's tag division. Just get rid of one of those sets of titles. I don't care which one it is, honestly. If you want to have just women's tag teams, great. Get rid of the men's then. You know what I mean? Because we don't have much over there. They do on SmackDown. SmackDown, I've seen, has quite a few tag teams. Are they credible? Probably not. But that's where we are. But other than that.
Yeah, to anyone in here right now, anyone jump in. Do you feel like Triple H is doing a better job than the former?
Yes.
Yes.
Easily.
100%.
100%. Like, I mean, he's doing better, but do you think he's like leaps and bounds better? Do you think he's like
Absolutely.
Wow.
I told you what I thought, man. This booking right now and all the stories that are going along with it, there's stories for just about everybody on their programming. Everybody has a story involved, and we haven't seen something like that since the Attitude Era. Everybody has a story. This is going to go down in history, mark my words, as some of the greatest booking that you'll see on television when it comes to storytelling. I believe that.
One thing nobody could ever say about me is that I'm closed-minded. If I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong. I've been trying to see what you're talking about for a long time now, and we've talked about this off the air as well. I don't see it. Maybe I'm just not looking at the right things. Like, to me, WWE's been lacking. And I feel like at the end of the day, it could be better. Like, it could always be better. That's kind of an open-ended statement. But at the end of the day, I feel like they're lackadaisical as it relates to, like, okay, this is what the fans want to see. Let's continue to make them wait and wait and wait and wait and wait when it gets to a point where it's like, okay, I'm tired of waiting. Like, Cody Rhodes should have never lost at 39.
Okay, so that's, and I'm not arguing that. I agree. Should have won. I'm glad the way that they did it. I thought the storytelling was good, but when you watch AEW, what are you liking about that?
In ring.
Let me just so just in ring.
In ring. There's some stories that are good, but clearly not as much as WWE.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what would it take for you to actually.
What would it take for me to be happy? Probably something unrealistic, which is awesome storylines and 5-star in ring competitors.
Okay, well, WWE has never really had 5-star competitors.
Right.
They have competitors,
right, that
are 5 stars, but
right,
they work a different match than AEW. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, there is a middle ground between both of these companies.
True.
Right? Like, you can go to AEW and get the high flying, dangerous stuff that you see on TV, and that's great. You know what I mean? And then you can go over to WWE to watch something completely different, because that's what I believe WWE is from AEW. A lot of people like to compare the two. For me, it's two completely different products.
I agree with
you.
I agree with you. Conrad, final thoughts on tonight. Money in the Bank has come to its conclusion. We're on the fast track to SummerSlam. How do you think this road is going to curve and twist?
I think a lot of it stays the same. I'm hoping that we get some follow-up on some of the other storylines, like let's get with the Otis and Gable thing. I know where it's going. It's kind of what you just said. Let's get to it. You know what I mean? We've been waiting long enough with the Otis is going to finally actually turn on him, and we're still waiting for that to happen, because he's going to play the, you got to trust me, you got to believe me, guys. And then as soon as they do, wham, we got him. Mm-hmm. And you're just waiting for it. I do think they have a great build-up. I think WWE is set throughout the year. They did a good job of doing that tonight. You have your John Cena story. You kind of got Cody's path carved out, and you've got, this will make Cody happy. This will make Roman happy. This will make Rock happy. This will make Punk happy. This will make Seth happy. All of our top people are happy. No problem. Then you're going to follow up with your under storylines, which is whatever you're going to do with Chad Gable, the Wyatt 6, Jacob Fatu. We don't know how all this stuff is going to lead into WrestleMania. You might have a Bloodline Civil War street fight with the other people, and I'm sure they're going to be booked in some type of matches. So they've got things going. Things are moving. LA Knight's got stuff going for them. They're doing fine. So I'm interested to see where the television takes us, and SummerSlam will be here before we know it. So,
Chris, the road to SummerSlam. This is the last stop on the road to the arguably WWE's biggest pay-per-view of the year outside of WrestleMania. How do you see it twisting and turning? How do you feel about it going into it?
I don't know if I want to let it lead me. I don't want to predict anything, but I'm happy with it. I really enjoyed this PLE. Like I really did, and I actually want to lean into the stories that they're giving me, and not try to predict anything. I'm happy with what happens tonight, and I'm really happy about the girls too. I think the women did an excellent job with their Money in the Bank ladder match.
Absolutely,
So
no question about that. Yeah, they killed it for sure. No question about that. James, second biggest pay-per-view of the year is less than 30 days away. How are you feeling going into it?
I think they did an excellent job. You got the stories there. They had them set in stone. There's always curveball they're throwing in there. You know, they're giving us cliffhangers, which I love. You know, when you had the White Six there, now you have, Drew McIntyre, Punk, and Seth. You know, what's going to go on with Chad Gable? What's going to happen for the aftermath of Jey Uso? Like, it's like you guys mentioned, there is a story for every single person, whether it's good or bad. There is a story for every single person. You know, there's a story for like Chelsea Green and just most of the undercard guys. Somebody's doing something and they have it set in stone. You throw a little niche in there, it's fine. It works for me. You know, all the soap opera, all the love drama with Dominic and Liv has been doing well.
Facts.
You know, they're set in stone. I think they're set.
I love it. Jess, SummerSlam, less than 30 days away. We know that you're a WWE guy, but you are someone who is level-headed. So how do you feel about what's going down the pike as far as SummerSlam is concerned?
First of all, I'm not just a WWE guy. I like anything that is captivating on television.
You're a WWE supporter. I don't mean you're exclusively.
Of course I am. I am an AEW supporter too at times.
Okay, that's what's up.
And when both companies piss me off, I'll let you know.
I know.
But SummerSlam, I'm excited for, man. It feels bigger this year. I'm never excited for Money in the Bank. Today felt different. I was really excited to watch the show. I thought the show went very well. I'm going to follow Crystal on the women's Money in the Bank. Definitely stole the night as far as those two matches go. Scared me at first because we got a couple of botches, and I was like, I remember telling you guys in the DM, like, dude, take these ladders away from these women. Like,
yeah, for real.
Somebody's gonna get hurt bad. But then they turned it around really, really well. So I thought the show was good, man. I still wish that we would have gotten that whole Punk thing at the end, but I get it. Bloodline above all, right? Like that's what they're trying to tell. And
pretty much.
But yeah, I'm excited for SummerSlam. I thought Money in the Bank was a great pay-per-view.
That's what's up. As always, y'all know me, man. I got to show love to people individually in the chat. Clown was in the building. My guy, Vinny, the only Vinny we like. Obviously, HGW was here. Sooner fan from the Pro Wrestling Shoot fandom. We appreciate you being over here as well. Thank you so much. Quilly LeGoat has been in the building. Guy Will Gamble was in the building. Who else was in here? Emlisi Fashizi, I appreciate you. Leanne, we appreciate you. Oh my goodness, Gabe from Pro Wrestling Shoot fandom, we appreciate you being here. T3Z, we appreciate you. The list goes on and on and on. Prince Rockstar, I thank you for being here. All of you guys, I sincerely thank you guys for being here. It's been a great episode. Before we get out of here, we're going to kind of reverse field and start with James. James, let them know where to find you, your socials, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, you guys can follow me at TPWS_Renegade. Also, I don't really care. You guys can add me on PlayStation 5. Renegade L2K, and also you can hit me or Jesse up for the Discord. Honestly, I'm always on there. I don't bite. You guys can talk to me. I don't really care.
That's what's up. Appreciate you, James. Crystal, let them know where to find you. Let them know what you're up to.
If I can find the unmute button, you can find me on Day in the Life with Chris on all social media platforms. Right now, I'm just trying to be healthy and stay happy. Shout out to Leanne as well. She was excellent.
Yes, shout out to her. Yeah.
Please, we're giving a shout out.
She's in another room. I'll let her know.
Yes, please. And
Appreciate
tell her another woman was giving her props because she was very opinionated.
She's very diehard all of a sudden.
It's just me, Oos. I love it. Conrad, talk to the people, man.
Thank you for having me on. You already know. You guys can type in at EPW Show on. I'm on everything: Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, you name it, I got it. X. At EPW Show is the handle. Put that in. Same with the YouTube channel. You can catch me and Sean every Monday live at 6:05 Eastern Standard Time. Clash of the Podcast. And on Wednesdays after Dynamite, we do a review show at 10:10. Me and Derek just talking about AEW Dynamite. So, yeah, be there.
Yes, sir. And last but not least, Jesse, talk to the people.
Yeah, man, we're just talking video games over at the Pro Wrestling Shoot over here on YouTube. Follow us at the Pro Wrestling Shoot everywhere, actually. We're on Twitch. We're on TikTok. We're on IG, Facebook, and Twitter. We're coming off of a pretty amazing project that I got to collab with Conrad on, which I was honored to do, and a good friend, JCSJ. If you like to learn about the history of wrestling video games and what WWE 2K should do better, you should probably go and check that latest video out. We're up to 22,000 views right now on that video as we speak. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's the highest long form video that we've released. Pretty excited, man. Go support it. Let us know what you think, what we can do better. And yeah, your enjoyment on wrestling video games.
Okay, so since Jesse, James, Crystal, and Conrad are being so humble, allow me to bring it home the way it's supposed to be brought home. First of all, Jesse and James are doing outstanding work with their channel. They are top tier as it relates to their video game prowess and all the wrestling talk. Do not let the humble talk fool you. They are absolutely excellent, top tier every Tuesday night. Amazing. I like to watch, and it's just absolutely outstanding. Crystal, do not let her fool you. She is a serial entrepreneur doing amazing things in her community and in her business life. She is top tier as a human and as a businesswoman. And Conrad would not even I would not even be in the position I am in with all this love I'm getting if it wasn't for Conrad putting me on. Conrad, don't say a word. It's the truth. Just take it. I appreciate you, my brother. So with that being said, I'm so happy to have had you guys on. James, Jesse, God bless. My brothers, Crystal, my sister, you know I love you. Conrad, my brother, appreciate you, man. This is the Hubbard Wrestling Weekly Money in the Bank post show. We will see you 6:05 Eastern Standard Time on the Everything Pro Wrestling channel for Clash of the Podcast. So until then, God bless, be encouraged, and as always, evil never prevails. Until next time, peace.